Welcome back. Four limiting beliefs that block your weight loss journey. And what I want to get into in this video that most of the time change is about questioning and adapting your beliefs in a way that works for you. It's having a conversation online with someone who seem to have a bunch of beliefs that probably aren't going to help them lose the weight they want or reach the goals that they've set in their mind. So what I want to do in this video is give you a little process so you understand how you can change your beliefs, question the ones that can be holding you back, and how you can keep yourself from getting stuck. So what happens, you get stuck when you think things have to be how they were before, either like recently or however you grew up, or if you feel like you don't have support or the knowledge, or you absorb unconsidered beliefs and then you just go around thinking it and saying it. And when you have these things in the background, you often do behaviors that reflect your beliefs. So this is for the common ones, the limiting beliefs for you to address so you know how to lead a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. There's a lot more, but we'll get into these four and see. It's really about understanding the background of how you can change your thoughts and beliefs. The first one, we don't have health coaches in our small town. This person lives in Iowa somewhere. So if you feel like you live somewhere that doesn't have a lot of coaches or a lot of resources or even like a good gym or you can't get to it, anything like that, then this could be an issue. And this is an advantage of working online. I'm a remote health coach. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching, and I enjoy breaking down these techniques so you understand the mindset of healthier living and thinking so you can lead a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. I got the guilt-free game plan link below. It's the most compassionate way to build your self-control so you lose weight without all or nothing diets. So that sounds good. When you don't have the resources you want, then I would ask, what do you want to make easy? What are you trying to change that's too difficult for you right now in order to see results? All right. So the second issue this person had, in my town, it's cheaper to buy processed and preserved food than fresh and healthy. Something I would say to this to get you to think is look out for terms, definitions that you might not understand, or you adopt the meaning without really considering them. Processed and preserved aren't the opposite of healthy. We're talking about processed preserved food versus fresh and healthy. So if you have something processed, like frozen fruit goes great in smoothies, that is like pre-peeled, pre-cut, frozen, ready to go. And that can be very healthy for you. Also, foods that are frozen or canned, when you're talking about fruits or vegetables, especially in a smaller town where you might not have that access to, a farm in your community, then those foods can be processed and preserved and be healthy all at the same time. Click like if that's something you can relate to, but you hadn't really thought of before. Also, fresh and healthy don't always go together, right? So you want to be mindful of how we group words together and then what those words mean to us in our decision making process. Fresh and healthy, fresh French fries, hot out the grease, delicious, however, not necessarily healthy. Similar, what? Cotton candy. Another one to look for. So, fresh and healthy don't always go together, and then processed and preserved aren't the opposite of healthy. Three, I always have grown up with no knowledge about healthy eating because it wasn't affordable. Now, this does happen a lot. This is a challenge with our nutrition education system and all kinds of problems that people can have, or you just never really had your parents teach you, or your parents didn't know, or you grew up around people who thought this was healthy, and all kinds of things can happen wrong here. So the thing is, your past doesn't have to match your future, especially if you're trying to make changes to your health or if you're on a weight loss journey. Or if you didn't have access before, now you have access, or you're even thinking now, oh, I can eat canned fruits and vegetables and still get the fiber benefits and the vitamin content and the minerals from it as well. All right. What I would say here is what you always did usually isn't what gets you to the next phase. How you grew up, like your body changes, your life changes, your understanding always changes. So don't base all of your future choices on your past. It's something I work on with my clients in the guilt-free game plan is setting mission, vision, and values so you understand what's important to you now, right? When you grew up in a culture, maybe your family culture, your neighborhood or community, anything like that, you probably had values that may or may not have been clearly defined, but you had things that were understood as common and accepted and safe. And what we want to do when you're trying to shift to a healthier lifestyle, whatever that means for you, then you want to be specific about the values you choose to lead your life by. So that's what I would say. The past doesn't always get you to the next level of your skills. The fourth myth that this person had on their mind, or limiting belief, I would say, is we are constantly misinformed about how to eat. It's hard to lose weight when you aren't taught how to do it properly. I talked a little bit about that, teaching, not knowing how to do it properly previously. However, it's like you're assuming a group thing when it doesn't necessarily have to apply to you specifically, right? When you say we are constantly misinformed, and there is a lot of misinformation out there, there's also a lot of good information. There's also people who study it. You can access expertise around you. So I would say that who's we all are not constantly misinformed. There are people who study this stuff and really even create content designed to help you. So part of it can be learning how to discern good information from less helpful information. One of my core values is science-based, so I'm always trying to bring you accurate information, right? And that way you can shift from whatever most people are doing to something that works right for you. What I said is you can learn. So what do you want to learn? Do you want to learn how to do it properly when it comes to changing your health, leading the life you want, instead of, feeling like you were never taught? You can get help to learn some guidance for that. And so when I asked, do you want to learn how to do it properly? The person said yes. And then I was like, psych, it is April Fool's today when I'm recording this. And I said, there is no proper way, a bunch of ways. Like there are a lot of ways to do it, to make your health changes, to lose weight, all that stuff. And there are several healthy ways to do it. And there are some unhealthy ways to do it, but none of them is going to be considered the proper way. So that's something else to be mindful of when it comes to your language and how you think about it. And when people are promoting their way of doing it, their favorite way, or what they think is the best way, that's not necessarily the proper way to do it, just because it all depends on what you need. So that's why I said there are best practices, right? You have your research, you have your public health best practices, whatever is effective, generally speaking, for most people, but you have to pick which way is proper for you and your goals and your lifestyle and what you've got going on, of your anticipated and expected rate of change, and if it's realistic for what you're doing. So that is the proper way to do it, I guess. And when you're looking at it, there's ways to, like, you have your generic best practices. Those are the fundamentals: 5+ servings of fruits and vegetables per day, drinking half your body weight in ounces of water per day. American Heart Association says 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Those basic things. Limit your added sugars. Don't eat too much fried food. Make sure you get enough calcium in your diet, right? These are the generic things that everyone's supposed to know, right? And they're easy to find, and they could support better health, and they would for most people, but that's not always easy to understand or apply to your life. And that's why you have to look at your goals, your lifestyle, and how you're living. And importantly, what I always emphasize on my channel, my vision for you to know is, what does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams look like? And those are going to be the best of the best practices, because they actually apply to how you want to lead your life when it comes to the healthy, fulfilling life of your own dreams. And then once you think of that, you assess your beliefs, you set the vision for what you want your life to look like, and then you can direct your changes based on your current habits to build towards the life you want. So people do get stuck here when they see generic best practices, or they're online on Reddit, or one of their friends tells them one thing that may not be helpful, and then they just think, I'm going to immediately shift to that. I'm going to eat 1,200 calories every day right now. I'm going to cut out all sugar and make my life very unpleasant. All that stuff that doesn't necessarily help you can get you stuck. What we want to do instead is assess your current habits, how you're living now, the choices you've had that you may not have considered, the habits that you've established based on your conditions and lifestyle and what you need to do every day. And then we can make small changes based on that are incremental, gradual, sustainable, and realistic. So that is much better than guessing a proper way or randomly adopting best practices, because that's what gets people feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, feeling like they're not good enough, like they're mentally weak or something's wrong with them, all that stuff. So those are the four things that people slip up on when it comes to, the myths, unexamined beliefs, limiting beliefs, and things that can keep them from leading the life they want when it comes to their health and their weight loss journey. And so when we're talking about making these changes for yourself, as the guilt-free health coach, I work with you. We create a personalized plan based on your vision so we can let your health support your life and help you do the things that you intend to do when it comes to eating and exercise so you get the results that you want with your body, quality of life, leading a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams, right? It's not always straightforward if you don't consider it in the first place. And if you don't have the realistic steps or sustainable practice to do it, then it gets challenging. So this is how I can help you. There's a link below. You can book a call. We can talk. You can watch some of my other videos. Click like, subscribe if you want more content like this. And then next, you can watch Wondering If You Need a Health Coach. What does a health coach do? I'll put that video over here so you can learn more about how I work. So that's today's message. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, keep practicing. Peace.